I don't have a cake, but let's give a shout out to our 18th President, Ulysses S Grant, on his 200th birthday today. I want to start with his wife, Julia. After they retired from the White House, they moved to New York City, and there she became best friends with, ready for this, Varina Davis. She was the wife of Jefferson Davis, the President of the Confederacy. I think this is an incredible picture of forgiveness and reconciliation. We need that today. Now back to Grant. He, of course, became a rock star, a celebrity due to his fame, his heroism from winning the Civil War for the Union, and he was a fantastic general. It was just inevitable that he would become president. So he ran in 1868. And by the way, he never gave a campaign speech. He had zero issues that he was concerned with. So not exactly a great candidate. He ran against the governor of New York at that time, Horatio Seymour. And Horatio did not even want to be president. Somebody threw his name in the ballot in the Democrat primary. He somehow won the 20-whatever ballot. And when he got up to give his acceptance speech, he literally cried like a baby. And he said, I quote, pity me, pity me. So even with that said, Grant barely won. I think mainly because he didn't campaign. Now, this was the first election where blacks voted, and they probably gave Grant the victory. So at this time, 16 of the 37 states had granted blacks the right to vote. Now, a couple of southern states that did had not legally re-entered the Union, so those votes didn't count. In New York, they had a rule that said you had to own at least $250 in property or you couldn't vote. This eliminated much of the black vote there. But still, about 500,000 black men voted. That probably gave Grant the election. Of course, under his first term, Congress passed the 15th Amendment, giving all citizens the right to vote regardless of color or race, except for women and horses. That would come later. Now, his second term, he ran against Horace Greeley, who was a journalist. He was the editor of the New York Tribune newspaper. Really freakish guy. He had, among the views that were not popular, he was an atheist and a vegetarian. And let me just say, in 1872, this was not popular. So Grant wins this one a little bit easier. Now, historians would say Grant was a failure as president. I don't know that I would go that far. I mean, the guy had no issues. He didn't ever campaign. And honestly, what made him great as a battlefield general was his aggressiveness and his common sense approach to what he was going to do. And you know, this is the University of Billy. Man, we're all about common sense here. However, as I've said for years, common sense is not welcome in the White House. So he was at a real disadvantage. Now, after his White House years, he went broke. Fortunately, he had a friend by the name of Mark Twain. Twain came to him and gave him an advance of $25,000 for him to write his own biography, which he did, 2 volumes. Actually, I've read it if you're into Civil War stuff, because 90% is just the intricate details of what he saw day by day in the Civil War from his perspective. But it's just an outstanding read. And of course, that brought wealth back to his family. But all in all, let's celebrate his 200th birthday today and recognize his greatness as an American.